Come on now. Y'all already know what this is, or do you know what this is? Hey, first things first, God did this. Don't get mad with us. I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. And this is another episode of exclusive interviews. Now, it's a little different. First episode, we got the young OG's dad, Big Rob. Shout out to you, my man, a New Yorker. But this one is a little bit more special. And the reason why I say that is because we actually have a real independent wrestler, somebody that's been in the trenches, somebody that's still in the trenches, just killing it right now, and a fellow New Yorker. And y'all know, me being a New Yorker and seeing my New York wrestlers going crazy always has me hyped to see. Now, this particular wrestler has been trained by my man Booker T. Oh yeah, man. And he's done great stuff, my man Shane Taylor. But enough of what I'm talking about. We about to bring him on up. So let's bring on my man Tyree Taylor. Yes,
Hey,
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
they got me twisted out here. We
There
back.
we go. There we
back.
go. We back. How you doing, man? Good to see
So,
you.
we good. We all right, big dog, man. Ready to rock, man. Happy to be here. Appreciate you.
Hey, I'm happy to have you on here. Appreciate you again. Making the time to get up on here with me, man.
Hey, man.
Man,
Also,
I, man, like I'm very excited to go ahead, really just kind of talk about just your journey, how long you've been in the business, how long you've been doing this. But I mean, honestly, let's go ahead and start, man. Let's talk about just you coming up just in New York, in Brooklyn, and just how everything really started for you, where you really even started watching wrestling.
when did I start watching wrestling? My first impression of wrestling was actually um, Ministry of Darkness Undertaker versus Boss Man in like '90.
Mm.
This is when he had the crazy goatee, and that was the first like time of wrestling that I remember having watching, and then Shawn Michaels doing the zip line, and then the Montreal Screwdriver, all that good stuff, leading into the 2000s and all that good stuff. But that was my first real chunk of wrestling right there.
Okay, okay. Now, question, what official like really got you like besides, we know about the Ministry of Darkness, but what made you say this is what I want to do for a career? Like what was the age that you really said I think I might be able to do this?
So it was actually around 17, 18. Um, I was a baseball player in high school, and I was almost drafted. At least I felt that way. There was a scout on me from the Nationals, if I remember, and like I was killing it in the, in Erasmus Hall High School. You know, I was down there, and I was a Dutchman, and I was killing it. Then he kind of disappeared. I remember having a trash game, and like that was it. I thought that was over for me. And then like I knew I wasn't really going to college because I'm a tradesman, HVAC and plumbing. So I was just like, what am I to do? What am I going to do? All that good stuff. And I wasn't getting drafted. I wasn't going to college. I was like, you know what? I've been wanting to do this for a while. So day before my 19th birthday, I walked into Gleason's gym in Brooklyn, New York. Hall of Famer Johnny Rods. Shout out to my grandmother, rest in peace. She gave me the deposit to be able to start this dream that I haven't looked back from. And it started from Johnny Rods in Brooklyn, New York, and Dumbo.
Man, man. I think that's a huge thing, man. Like to even come up to the thought to do it even after all that you was going through at that time. I love to hear the fact that you said, you know what, I'm gonna do this wrestling thing, man. I'm gonna get up in that ring. I
Mm-hmm.
really respect that.
I knew I was too gifted with something. Something got to be done. Some goal have to be accomplished on my. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I feel that, man. I feel that. So going on from when you was 19, you're starting wrestling school.
Mm.
When does that start to evolve like a little bit past that when you're like, you know what, I need to take this to the next level?
So I knew I was a natural. I felt it. Um, Sometimes I had a little too much dip on my chip. I was one of those, and I had a lot of people behind me around to humble you, boy. But around year 4 is when I was just like, "There's a glass ceiling here." I love Johnny to death, but he he's very beginner friendly, and at this point, I needed finishing. The finishing school, somewhere where I can like really grasp that intangibles with production and stuff like that. And I didn't really know where to find that opportunity, if I was honest. Um, I was with somebody, and she lived in Houston, Texas, and I ended up going there for it was supposed to just be a little visit thing, and then her mom was just like, "Yo, you want a job?" She worked at a refinery. I was just like, "Sure, I got nothing else going on." So I went, started working overnights, 12 hour shifts and stuff like that. And then after a couple months, I was just like, I got to get into something, man. I got to get into something. I'm starting to miss this thing. And I do my search for a school. And I was supposed to go to Funaki School in San Antonio. And then I was signed up and everything. But I kept looking. I didn't feel fulfilled when looking into it, and then I saw Reality of Wrestling. Had to move down to Houston, and they were like in this old rundown gym at that point, and had to get my trainer started with Booker T. Had to. It was one of those things where it just meant to happen. Meant to happen. Had to go down there and see Booker and the way he kind of talked to me when it came to like starting training and stuff like that. It gave me some life, I will say.
That's what's up, man. Now, since you in reality or wrestling at that time, was there any other wrestlers that you knew that we know now that we've seen transcend into the to that main spotlight?
Those are my guys. All of them are my boys. Gino Medina. Uh, you know, um, we got there's a lot of them. Rufus Ryan Davidson. We got
Okay.
JJ Blake, who's New Texas down in Texas. There's Terrell Tempo. There's a whole bunch of guys that from there. I was there for maybe a month for Roxy for Roxanne.
Yeah.
Kylie Ray, one of my favorites. Kylie Ray is a sweetheart. I'll fight anybody.
Wow.
Like there's a whole bunch of those people down there. The talent pool that came out of the books is amazing. I can go on and on about that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he is. He has definitely produced some stars, and you're definitely one of them, man. That is so crazy, man. Oh man, I love that. So talk about I guess the departure from reality of wrestling going on furthermore. What was that like?
So one of the people that I've really grown close to at that point. Um, Actually, there's two of them, and though to kind of answer your last question a little further, there was two people that like I knew that I was kind of going back. I went back to the New York scene around 2018. It's the Pretty Boy Killers. Pretty Boy Killers, Shane Taylor and Keith Lee. Um, I was tag champions with Shane Taylor. That's big bro right there. He'll always be big bro. Um, he kind of was just like, you got to go out there and get this bread, get this mindset and like accomplish what you need to accomplish. Keith was already signed by then, so I didn't really get too close to him. But like when like there was a couple times we were all three of us together. I tried when they went to Ring of Honor as the tag team when they were wearing suits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, around the time they were wearing suits, I tried to be the third man, and I tried to be all up in there. Um, but when I was going, he was just like, "Hey, hold it down, do your thing. You know, you're plenty talented. You'll get right back on your feet." And then I ended up coming back to New York, around the New York scene in 2018. Um, my first kind of match back from Texas was in a place called Darrow's in the Bronx, BWF, and the journey had to kind of restart from there.
Really?
Yeah.
So yeah, because I know you were tag team champs with Shane Taylor before. So I'm assuming this is all after the fact. So kind of just run down with me. What was that restarting process? Like that whole refresh?
So the it was weird because I when I was coming down to Texas, I already felt like big fish, small pond. But when I came back, it was just like it was almost lost because I didn't really have acquaintances. I didn't really have anybody to like network like that
Hmm.
from the first time coming back to the city and being able to try to get into promotions and book and stuff like that. And I just had to really make my own way to try to network because it's one of the teachers that was in Johnny Rods. His name was Cowboy. He used to tell me, um, you know, who you know get you there, what you know keeps you there. So
Mm.
it was just a matter of who do you know? You know, I didn't really know anybody. Um, there was a I had to go to like there was a little school that I kind of went to. I didn't go to, but like they did shows and I would go see them. It was you know it was a FSW with the Maximos.
Yeah.
So they came in and were doing shows and stuff. And I was just watch and try to you know be a part of it. And there was a tag team that I grew very fond of, EYFBO, and EYFBO, which is Angel Ortiz and Mike Drastic at the time, Santana, uh, and they were just like and stuff like that, and you know they were still very young and doing it all over the place and stuff, but um, they were one of the first people coming back. It was just like, all right, we got to get the ball rolling. You know what I'm saying? You could tell their future. You get what I'm saying? That it's like
Yeah.
watching. I got to go around and do whatever I do, tryouts, you know, little tape-ins here and there, shindies galore. Had to do it. You know what I'm saying? And then just kind of show what I had going on for myself.
I like that, man. I like that. So gotta look at, I'll be looking into the database and trying to find out all the information I can with wrestlers. So I did notice there was one thing when I looked. You had a match with Mike Santana,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken. And one of those, I'm trying to find it right here. And one of those that I thought was interesting because I seen a few of these that you had. I said, "Oh nah, this man he been going crazy." Um, and I looked at your title reigns, by the way. Very good title reigns. Okay. Everyone know, oh, he had it for a few weeks after. Nah, bro, we're talking about hundreds of days where you have had a really good title run. Um, One of the most recent ones that I've seen was you being the Focus Pro champion, and that was for 385 days, not 365. They
Yeah.
gave you an extra 20. I
Yeah.
love that. I love
I
that. Kind of so yeah, talk about that real quick, man. I gotta how was that title reign? How did you feel, what was your mentality just going in, being the top guy of that company? And what was that like, man? Go ahead and just give us a breakdown on that.
so so just a little inside. I wasn't even supposed to be there. I wasn't supposed to be there at all. I
That's crazy.
this was like maybe their third show. I wasn't supposed to be there. So one of the guys that I love and really dear to the business. I only met him a couple times, but the times that we did hang out was pretty cool. Jake something was a special guest.
Wow.
He was supposed to wrestle at Chaotic, and then Chaotic that Friday. Saturday was Focus Pro. So we were training on Thursday. I watched him try to, do the training with us. There was this little rope drill that we did. I watched him twist his ankle. I watch him.
Ooh.
I watch him. I get him into the office, wrap him up, all that good stuff. And then I saw the shows that he was coming on. And I was just like, oh, he's probably not making that. There's swelling a little bit, all that good stuff. I thought nothing of it. I get a call from one of the guys. Shout out to him, Danny Miles. He's a pretty prominent independent star out here. He was just like, "Hey, you have your gear tonight, bro?" I was like, "I can get it." Hey, I stay strapped up. You feel me? So he's just like, "Oh, come through, and I need you to take Jake something spot." Okay. And I felt the way because I watched him like go down. It's like
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like, but they knew me around. They knew who I was, and they knew I can fill in those kind of shoes. But then, I was worried like, oh, that's Jake something, you know. So I had to do something from there. I go in and I tore the house down with one of my other good acquaintances, Ichiban. So
Come on, man.
number one, we tear the house down and got a please come back chant, and it was all from there. Got into a tournament, went undefeated for about a year and a half. Got the title with my crew. Well, I got the title. My crew was in attendance. We got it, um, and it was going strong, 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 untouchable. They couldn't touch me. They could not touch me. They tried to throw everything at me, but they could not touch me. And I lose it on a cash in at the end of the match.
Oh my God.
We go 30 minutes. Me and the guy, I hate him to death. I hate him. His name is Des. I hate Desmond Cole. That's my whole, that's my whole thing. He looks like Caillou. I hate Desmond Cole. We go 30 minutes, light the joint up. I get cashed in on. I get cashed
Mm,
on. I lose it, and they haven't seen me since because I go down. And
wow.
like Repo Man coming though, but that's all right. They're having a little fun over there. But Daddy's home. You feel me?
Yeah, man. So another long lengthy title reign that you had was just shy from 365, but you was the wow no limits champion for 364 days back in 2019 to 2020. Talk about that real quick. I'm we're big, our podcast is big on real lengthy good title reigns. So to see this was great. So yeah, just talk about that real quick and give us just a little bit of a rundown on that one, man.
So that was interesting because it was the first day of my crew, Prolific.
Wow.
It was the first day. So Isaiah Wolf, Marcus Monkey, they were the originals. They were already tag teaming together and stuff like that. They came out, they were watching. There was another. His name was the Cookie Pimp. He was the champion at. He was. It was every whatever you think the Cookie Pimp is, he was that. So I came in, House of Fire, Big Monster Man, all that good stuff, and the No Limits is basically hardcore rules. Basically hardcore rules, and kind of title. So like I came in, started knocking heads, got the title shot, decisive victory. I couldn't find the title. So I was like, well, yo, where the title at? All that good stuff. I turn around, it's Wolf and his Marcus. They hand it to me. Hey, we prolific.
Wow.
And then I ran down with my crew. They got the tag team title shortly after. We were running Warriors of Wrestling. We were running Staten Island to the ground where it should belong. And they could like, and then I lose it because, and it's probably somewhere. It's somewhere. Um, there was a stack. It was in the pandemic. It was in the
Yeah.
pandemic, and like we were in front of our peers and stuff, and the guy pulled out the steel chairs. There was a stack of steel chairs, just like for fans and stuff like that. He pulled it out. The whole thing collapsed on me, and then he
Oh.
lay down, get rolled in. He had to like I was out. He had took the chair and flipped me like a pancake with the chair, and then pinned me with the chair on him. So like you had to do all that to pin me. So you know what I mean. It would have been low. The people would have came back by the time I lost.
Hey, I believe it, man. I believe it. So since we're kind of talking about some of your title reigns, I want to kind of dive in just into those some of those reigns. Were you a face mainly or was you a heel?
My title reigns were actually pretty heelish. Um, I'm a worker, baby. I do whatever's needed. So it's like I'm pretty prominent at both. So it's like whatever's needed. But most of my title reigns has been heels. Other than my tag titles with Ichiban, the Wrestling Open tag titles, everything else was pretty heel. I will say that's the first time I thought about that. But yeah, for
So
sure.
do you like being better as a heel or as a face?
I can control the match a little better as a heel.
Hmm.
Um, I can dictate a lot more as a heel, but I have no problem working as a face because I am. Uh, it's literally it's me just with a different format. That there's no real difference to Tyree Taylor. You know what I'm saying? You might get a scout
Yeah.
smile or something like that, but it's still me. It's still who I am. You know what I mean? There's no real like gimmick or it's me turned to 100. You can't say so whatever.
I like that, man. I like that. Okay, cool, man. Yeah, I think that's what I've noticed. I always felt like usually, like when it comes to especially New Yorkers, it is extremely easy for us to be healed if we want. Now, granted, I'm saying it's like us, like I'm a wrestler, but but it's easy to kind of flip that switch and just be a heel, get disrespectful, get real raw, and I think that is a key element on being a heel. So I can definitely see you doing that, man. That's what's up, man. So another tag team you was also in, you was with TJ Crawford.
Hmm.
Kind of talk about that for a little bit. Talk about that.
IJ. I was thrown in there. This was pandemic time, so you know, this was around the time where people got out of there for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? You too, me too, we too. All that good
Yeah.
stuff. You know, they got all the way out, and so now all those spots that were opened up, you need somebody to fill in. Why not? Why not me? Right? So you got to step up. Now it's time. Now the spots are open. You got to show up. But me and this was around the time T.J. Crawford was one of those up and comers as well. He was just as hungry, and he's been doing it ever since. But he was a lovable loser, and and he just kind of stuck around. I don't want to age you out, brother, but it's like like Scooby Doo and Scrappy Doo.
Come on now. I know that.
It was the bulldog and his pup. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
you know, just following, chasing around. Then we just build up Ty J, and it was a little. It was one of those things where it's like I didn't like it at all, but I missed it when it was gone.
Mm.
And I love TJ to death. He's grown into an amazing wrestler, amazing wrestler. Everybody should follow TJ Crawford, and like really watch his work. He's absolutely amazing. But that's one of those things. I wish got a little more length, but I'm all right where it is. But we kind of made each other better.
Like that. I like that, man. Now, I know you're really big in the ring. Do you do anything behind the scenes in terms, any storylines or anything like that?
As far as
Just like writing. Like if you're big on like, any storylines for any whether it's you as a wrestler or anybody else, you've ever dealt or should I say, have you ever dabbled anything behind the scenes for the ring?
absolutely, I'm one of those guys who it's tough to like create something, but boy, can I add some things onto it. Um, I've elevated storylines to no end. I have a adaptability sense more than a lot of people. I am I'm very eye to detail. Detail, the devil's in the details. You know what I'm saying? So it's like very little.
Yeah.
I don't care if I pop three people, but those people are going to get a deep cut. You feel me? So it's like I'm always looking for a different, unique understanding. I did a lot of video editing back in the day, so like understanding production. When I was in reality wrestling, I was actually the producer's right hand man, trying to learn things, doing promos and stuff like that. His name was Kevin. Kevin was Book's right hand man. He still is. They holding it down over there.
Shout out to Kevin. Shout
Yeah,
out to Kev.
was the man doing all the production in the background, stuff like that. And then I would always see how stressed he was. And I was just like, you know what, I can let me see if I can, help him out, whatever. So I was like in the production meetings, in those things, and understanding kind of the inside out and stuff like that. This was around the time when Book brought in Bruce Pritchard. He was in those meetings and stuff like that, and a lot of my ideas got put on, and being able to one of my favorite promos that I ended up shooting from behind the camera was the Shogun, which is Brendan Williams of Curry
Okay.
W. He was he's a very talented individual. Loved his anime. He loved the Shogun. He had a Shogun gimmick, and like he Nico, knee. Yeah, like he was going in, and like, we did one of these meditating promos, and I like came up with a lot of the shots and stuff like that, and it was one of my favorite things I've ever shot. But production is kind of a second home for me in professional wrestling, so I'll probably end up doing it when my body gives. You feel me?
I feel that. I feel that. Yeah, man. It's always I always feel like it's important, especially when wrestlers are completely done in the ring. I've always thought it was important for them to be behind the scenes in the production because who better to really tell that story than the ones that were in the ring? So 100%, I feel I can tell, man, you definitely would have a bright future for sure with that. 100%. And then the fact that I like the fact that you kind of took that initiative, to get in those production meetings, to kind of be there, to kind of just learn and just kind of pick, especially off of Bruce Bridger. That's crazy to me.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy. Somebody that's definitely been in the game, writing attitude era, ruthless aggression, even now. So I think to kind of pick the brain and pick the mind and to kind of listen and just absorb like a sponge, I think that's a huge thing, very important thing from you to do, man. That's huge, man.
He wasn't an
That's
easy.
huge.
He was an easy man to deal with at all. You know what I'm saying?
Really.
It's like I'm gonna put an inside story here. Uh,
Okay.
um, One of the meetings. This was around. I was still like wrestling actively in the promotion,
Mhm.
and in the area of Houston, Tugboat Taylor died, which is Earthquake, Earthquake, old school wrestler.
Yeah.
And like I go to office because my going over our match and stuff like that. And he's there. They like, you know what? Why don't you be Tugboat's long lost son? I was like, I'm sitting there stone faced. Everybody's folks having an aneurysm, all that good stuff. I'm sitting there like, man, no, y'all are wrong. The body ain't even cold yet. I was like, Jesus, oh my God, like those type of jokes. But his brain is right for the picking. He's a absolute wizard when it comes to like professional wrestling. But boy, man, corny individual.
Yeah, man. See that, and that's kind of crazy because I always used to say myself about Bruce Pritchard. I was like, man, I'm like, man, I don't know what it is. I said, but we gotta get this man something else. But to hear that, I kind of to kind of hear that, that opened my eyes a little bit. That opened my eyes. So you know what, Tyree, I'm glad you told me something about that because man, the way I used to see Bruce, I said, nah, man, I'm done with him. I'm done. But to hear that, man, that is refreshing to hear. Very refreshing to hear. So let me ask you this. Let
Yes.
me ask you this. Because I know right now you're still doing your thing in the indie scene. Um, are you training wrestlers right now? Are you training on the side as well?
Yes. So after those years of being in Johnny Rods and Booker T, I needed school, and I ended up moving to Massachusetts, and one of the most prominent schools. That's probably for me.
They going crazy, boy. They looking for you.
Back for tight, my back for tight. But I had to go to a school, New England Pro Wrestling Academy, which is Kowalski School.
Okay.
And a lot of people came out of there. Carmelo Hayes, Mercedes Monet, Champa, Ivar. Kofi Kingston. Names go on. That is
A
one of
lot
the.
of great names right there you just named.
So I go to the school, and it was ran by a guy named Brian Fury at the time, and
Oh shoot.
yeah, and he was a real roughneck. He got me into. He got the fire back under me, right? But he retired, and he retired shortly after the pandemic. So they gave the school to a guy named Chase Del Monte, the Chase that runs the place. He's owner of Chaotic, and there's at a certain point because I've been in about 14 years deep, almost 15. Yikes! But there's at a certain point where you it's not that you stop learning, but you're not really a student. You get what I'm saying?
Mm,
Uh,
yeah.
so he's made it perfect for me to be able to workshop. We workshop. He's been a mentor to me. He's like, oh, I'm not going to take credit for you. You've done so much before, You're like, but you know, I'll put you under my wing. He's became a mentor to me, and I couldn't, especially during the transition from the old management to new. I took the initiative and be like, hey, let's take over some of this stuff. Um, take care of some of the students. I've been a pretty much a student teacher mentor to a lot of these kids that are coming in and doing work down in New England Pro Wrestling Academy. And I told myself, I said, if I never sign paperwork, I'm gonna make sure 5 people do.
Mm.
5 people do, and keep the cycle going for that. So that's another passion of mine is learning, teaching people the ropes and how to respect the ring and how to respect the craft that is professional wrestling. And I hold it down for the students there.
I respect that, man. I love that. I love the fact that you're giving back what the game gave you.
That's
I love that, man. I love that's real passion, and I think that's something that I'm not gonna say it's a missing key factor in wrestling right now because I do feel like there are plenty of wrestlers that are doing it, but to kind of even because this is my thing, I feel like as an independent wrestler, I feel like you got to have more drive, more grit, more of that passion to keep going. Because I feel like for independent wrestlers, it's not easy, especially like we got all these other top companies and all these other top brands that are doing stuff. And I always feel like when it comes to the independent wrestlers, it's either you're looked at like, oh wow, he could be something, or they'll just keep on swiping and looking for the next one. And I think that's so important for you, man. Like that is so important. I love to see that from you, man. That's a huge thing. Huge thing. And since you've been training, is there, because there's always, I always feel like there's always a couple, there's always a few that might, I would assume as a trainer, there's some that stick out like, okay, he might have it, she might have it, they might have it. Is there anybody right now that you've been training that you see like, you know what, they might have a top person potential?
so it's funny you say that. I can't really claim them, but
Hmm.
there's people who I've definitely helped that are on right now. So it's just swipe right. Uh, you
Come
know,
on.
if you see a lot of my stuff, yeah, you see a lot of my stuff. Like when I had my first title reign. Well, first title reign as Wrestling Open Tag Champs with Ichiban. In the back, you always gotta find out who's next. We were pushing for swipe right. We were always pushing for those guys because they just got together. They were super young. They didn't really get looked at yet, and we were just like, "Yo, let's get them on." And me and Ricky Smokes, he's from New England Pro Wrestling Academy, so I've known him for a little while, and I've always known he had the talent. I knew at some point he was going to get scooped up. Uh, I actually went viral off his headpiece. I hit him with the disc,
Wow.
and we got on Barstool with like 6 million views. And yeah, like I hit him with the discus. He sold it stupid, and his head off. And we got we hit Barstool and got like wild views and stuff like that. When he was Ricky Archer, like like those guys were like, hey, I was like, yo, give them the world, man. They gonna get up out of here. Um, I can't claim Carmelo Hayes either, but at the end when he was finishing up his indies. Me and him would ride to all the shows because we lived by each other. And
Wow.
his name was Christian Casanova, and
Yep.
he was like telling me how the negotiations go and stuff like that, and who he was talking to. Like he was very close to either company. He was very close. Like if this offer was here, this offer was right here. He could have signed either.
Wow.
He was right there. He was having Zoom meetings. He was there, and he had his last show before he went up because one of my other mentors, AG Anthony Green, was just signed. So he's gone down too. So when he lost the Limitless Championship, he was ready to go, and he was just like, "Yo, Ty, thank you. You've been holding me down." We kind of like kicked the shits together, hold it, and really Like he he gave me hope that I lost. He gave me that fire back, and I wish him nothing but the best, man. He's an amazing guy, and I get happy every time I see anything about him right now, and I'll see him down the road.
Yeah, man. That's dope. Um, I noticed you talked about just you and Carmelo both riding together. Was there ever just like one specific conversation that's kind of stuck with you now where you're like, man, I remember he said that.
Uh,
He
we were
wasn't. He wasn't capping.
we were going over the one thing that like kind of went over. We were going over his like gimmick and like what he wanted to do and stuff like that. It was just like we were just like I'm kind of stuck here, and he was just like, what have you? I asked him, what have you been watching lately, like outside of wrestling? He's just like, man, I've been listening. I've been watching this show called Ballers. I've been watching that. And
Oh, shoot, that's crazy.
I was like,
That's my show.
I was like, hey, what isn't that with the sports? Isn't that with the sports management and stuff like that? It was like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, with the rock and all them. Yeah.
So I was just like, isn't that with the sports management? Yo, why aren't you the number one draft pick?
Hmm.
It was like he's just like, yeah, you know what? I like that. Yeah, I'm blue, Mr. Blue Chip. And like you got to remember when he first got signed, he got put on. They had the like I forgot what that tournament was called in NXT.
Oh,
Uh,
the breakout tournament.
breakout tournament.
Hmm.
Kind of going off being a first round draft pick and like being like can't miss prospect and stuff like that. And then it kind of panned out, and then like and then it goes back to that conversation while I was telling him about like kind of mold yourself into that. He was telling me how to, because he was really big on merch. He was Culture Inc. And they had merch for days. It was him, a guy named Trigger the OG, and Tasha Steeles, and
Come on now, that's my girl.
yeah, and like it's on site with me and Tasha Steeles. We always it was yeah. I always get a fist in the back of the shoulder or something like that. But you know, handle that. But like out of those three, it was they were selling merch like crazy. There was one of those, and like he was telling me how to like create your own website, do your own thing, have your own domain name, stuff like that. He was teaching me a lot, man. He was the man, especially during those times. Absolutely.
I love to hear that, man. I love to see. I think what I love to hear and to see is just another black wrestler helping and pushing another black wrestler, man. Especially times like these where we're seeing this huge emergence of plenty of black wrestlers just kind of just shining right now. And I love to see it and to hear that story. Man, that's a real full circle moment to me, man. To go from those car conversations and y'all talking about, you know, like what can I do? What can I do for like my gimmick? And then to see what he's done now, to see how he's, mellow don't miss, him, all and for him to be United States champion right now, I think that's such a full circle moment, and that is just it's incredible, man. I love the fact that you're part of that. I think that I know that for me that would just make me smile, man. So that is great to hear from you, man.
I won't be named in a Hall of Fame speech. I won't be, you know, anything like that. But when they see me, it's always love. So
Yeah.
I'm all good for that. And especially being black, I do want to bring you some insight. So there was always a problem with representation, right? So,
Mhm.
like being a trainer, I will say within the last couple years, it was only me before. It was only me and maybe a guy named Armani Chaos, amazing black wrestler that everybody should look up. As of the last like 2 3 years, there's been a slew of black students that have come across the school who want to be a professional wrestler. They like, especially in a place like New England where it's predominantly white, like a lot of black children and black kids, and they are hustling and want to do it. There's a guy named Jam Jabari, one of the Jam boys. His brother tore his ACL, but his other brother's holding it down, and they're really doing it. So like, we keep up this representation, we keep up this fight that we've been fighting. Um, we can have our own. We can do what we can. There's a guy in New York. His name is Darius Carter.
Come on now. Come on, bro.
Carter.
I was hoping you was gonna talk about my man Darius, man.
Darius Carter. He said one of the things that kind of stuck out to me. And I don't know if it's controversial or not, but it stuck with me. It was like, I love it that we're black wrestlers and everything like that, but I want to be a great wrestler that just so happened to be black,
Mm.
you know, and maybe then we can get out of the having to fight so damn hard and having to fight so damn long, and we're working towards that to be able to not have to work twice as hard to get half the success and stuff like that. We just want to be great wrestlers who just so happen to be black. We know what the vibe is. We know there's going to be whites, Mexicans, everything like that. LGBTQs and stuff like that. We know that, but people like guys like Aaron Rourke, who's in the LGBT community, who's just like, I want to be a great wrestler who just so happen to be gay. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. That's what we trying to get to. That's what we trying to get to. And we're
Yeah.
well on our way. Well on our way.
Well on the way, man. I love that. You talked about Darius Carter, so you know I'm about to ask you, man. As a fan, because we talk about it on our show. Granted, we don't review it enough, but we're definitely gonna be on that way soon. So you talked about Darius Carter, so we know this man is running Ashe Wrestling right now. Do you have any interest being there? Are we going to be seeing you over there soon? Because look, I'm in South Carolina, so if you
Oh,
pop
okay.
up at an Ashe
Oh,
Wrestling,
yeah,
I'm gonna drive my ass over there to see you, man. So, are you have any interest in going to Ashe or doing anything with them?
I do, of course. Well, why wouldn't I? I would be a hater not if a hater not to. Darius Lockhart would be, is an amazing talent who's created an amazing platform for black individuals. You know what I'm saying? And we are kind of he's been an inspiration for what we're doing. So now we have a promotion called Pro Wrestling R in New York. It was going down in Jersey, and we acquired it. Isaiah Wolf, right here, holding it down, the brainchild of everything. Want to create a platform almost just like that, and he actually talked to those guys, and I would love to be there, but we also can create our own. It's not the only show on the road. You know what I'm saying? And we wanna spread it, spread the love. It's the Brooklyn way. You feel me? So we
Oh,
want
that.
to do that, and I do always have interest in going to Ashe, especially to beat up Derek Carter again. And Darius
Take
Carter.
that title from him, bro. Take the title from him.
That's the play. That's the play. Or
Get
that
that title off him.
or that Pan African title from Khan. You
Yeah,
know,
come on now. I ain't seen that man defended in a little minute. So yeah, yeah, yeah. We could use a new Pan African champ.
his schedule's tightened up. You feel me?
Yeah, yeah. See, and that demand. Oh man, that is just
Like,
great, great stuff.
you know what I mean?
Oh man. Hey, look, well, Tyree, I really appreciate you doing this interview with me, man. I feel like we really kind of dabbled and talked about a lot of things on here, man. And Black History Month is coming up soon. I wish I'd have got you for February because I kind of got this idea. I want to, get a lot more black wrestlers, just on here, just to kind of talk about that journey. And I think what you talked about here was extremely important. Whether it was just, you coming up, making that move to Houston, what I'm saying, just kind of hearing that. Um, and then just kind of even seeing how your journey went as a trainer and just training in general, with just some of the greats that we see today in this modern day era of wrestling. And I think you have been doing an amazing job, man. Honestly, look, one last thing I want to ask you before we wrap this up, um, because man, this was a really great conversation. Um, and this is for all the the up and coming wrestlers, all the newcomers, all the new people that are trying to find their way into wrestling. What's one word of advice you would give any, whether it's black, white, regardless? What is just one piece of advice you would give to anybody trying to just step into the independent scene of wrestling?
Find a credible school. Find a credible school. I'm not talking about the Joe, Dick, and Harry down the street who didn't do anything. I'm not talking about the person with the ring in the backyard. Uh, Find a credible school, save up your coin, and go and do it properly. This is a dangerous game. It can also be very humbling mentally. So go to people who have done it at a high level and be a sponge for any and everything that they are offering you when it comes to professional wrestling. Um, there's a saying that that I always tell my beginners. One of the teachers early on in my career told me told me they're going to tell you 1,000 things a day, but if you take one and apply it 1,000 ways in 1,000 days, you now know 1,000 things. So now you take everything, you apply it, you adjust, you keep going. It's not going to happen overnight, but once you take that grain of salt and you take more grains of salt, you'll be able to do something special with it.
Great words, man. Great words. Great words from my man Tyree Taylor, man. Look, again, appreciate having you on here, man. Thank you for taking that time. And as always, man, I'm just grateful to have another New York up on here. Cause sometimes it'd be lonely, man. It'd be just me. But
All right.
I love, man, I love the fact that you got, was able to make this time with us. And hey, man, I would love to have you on here again. We could do this another time. Let's talk maybe 5, 6 months from now, and let's see how far. Again, I know, man. At this point, you've already been on a trajectory already in your career, and man, I can already see a lot more big things coming for you, man. Big things popping, and them little things stopping. I ain't talking my man Ti. You know what I'm saying?
Holla. Come on.
Oh man. But again, like I tell y'all always, please make sure y'all follow all of our social media. I tell y'all this, man. Come on, I ain't gotta keep saying this. Facebook, we on that. X, we on that. Instagram, we on that. TikTok, on that as well. Hey, look, we just hit about over 600 followers, and look, we're about one away from 250 subscribers. So go ahead and do that a favor for us, man. Keep liking the content, keep sharing, and we're gonna have a lot more segments just like this coming up. And we're gonna keep giving you that content the exclusive way. Come on, man. Stop playing with us, man.
Holla, sir.
Oh man. But as always, I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight, and we had the greatest of all time right here, my man Tyree Taylor. And again, man, thank you again for blessing us and giving people this story that this definitely needed to hear, man. As always, look at that, putting the cup up, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, man. Because we are the exclusive nights, and we always ensure that we're the best there is, the best there was, the best that ever will be, and to ensure that your nights will never Be the same. Y'all be good. Y'all be blessed. Tyree, thank you again, man.
Holla,
Thank
baby.
you again, man.
Hey, you know how to reach me, baby.
Hey, and let them know where they can find you at, man. They gotta find you. We gotta find you.
T_Taylor 347 on TikTok, Instagram, and all the other platforms, Snapchat, WhatsApp, whatever. If you can find that name, we on it. You can find me. I ain't hard to miss, baby. We ain't here. We here.
Come
Ain't hard-
on, man. Well, hey, man. Well, thanks again for being on with us. And you know what? That's a wrap, y'all. Y'all be good.